I am asking you right now, before you watch this, do not say the name out loud. Don't repeat it to anyone tonight. Don't Google it after. Just watch and understand. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't a legend. It isn't folklore. It isn't a campfire story. It is something that Navajo elders have refused to speak about publicly for centuries. And the ones who have spoken wish they hadn't. This is what it actually is. The Skinwalker. What they don't want you to know. Part 1. What it is. Most people think a skinwalker is just a Native American werewolf story, a shapeshifter, something that turns into animals. That is the surface level, the sanitized version, the version that was safe enough to put in books. Here is what it actually is. In Navajo tradition, and I want to be respectful here because this is a real living belief system, a skinwalker is called a Yinaldlushi. It translates to, with it he goes on all fours. It is a medicine man, a healer, someone who was once good, who made a choice, the most unforgivable choice, to gain the power to transform, to become any animal, any creature, any person they choose. They had to commit the ultimate taboo, the deliberate killing of a close family member, a sibling, a parent, a child. That act, that specific act of ultimate betrayal is what cracks open the door, what lets something else in. And once that door is open, it never closes again. Part 2, what it can do. Here is where it stops being mythology and starts being something else entirely, because the documented reports from Navajo Nation residents, from park rangers, from law enforcement officers who patrol the Four Corners region are consistent, disturbingly consistent. Skinwalkers don't just transform, they mimic. They will stand outside your window and make the sound of someone you love calling your name. Perfectly. The exact voice, the exact tone, the exact way your mother says your name when she's worried about you. And the instinct, every human instinct you have, tells you to answer. You don't answer. Navajo elders are unanimous on this. You do not respond to your name being called at night if you cannot see who is calling, because if you answer, you have given it something, a connection, like a key to a lock that didn't exist until you handed it over. Former Navajo Nation police officer, and I'm not using his name because he specifically asked me not to, has described a call he responded to in the late 1990s. A family reported something circling their home. He arrived, searched the perimeter with his flashlight, found tracks in the mud around the house. The tracks started as wolf prints, became something between wolf and human halfway around the house, and by the back door were bare human footprints. He filed the report. His supervisor told him to reclassify it as an animal disturbance. He quit 2 years later. He said, "I've dealt with drunk drivers, domestic violence, murders. I could process all of that. I could not process what I saw that night, because a wolf doesn't change its mind halfway around a house." Part 3, the eyes. Every single account, jurists, without exception, mentions the eyes. If you see a skinwalker in animal form, the eyes are wrong. Too aware, too focused. The kind of eyes that don't just look at you, they assess you. A woman named Maggie Tso, who has spoken publicly and given permission for her account to be shared, grew up on the Navajo Nation in New Mexico. She was 17, home alone. Her dog started barking at the tree line behind their property around midnight. She went to the back window and looked out. There was a coyote sitting at the edge of the trees, just sitting, watching the house. She said her first thought was, "Why isn't it moving?" Normal coyotes don't sit still. They pace. They move. This one just sat. She looked at it for almost a minute, and then it looked directly at her. And she understood immediately, instinctively, in the way that bypasses logic entirely, that it had known she was there the whole time, that it had been waiting for her to look. She called her grandmother. Her grandmother told her 3 things. Don't look at it. Don't speak to it. And whatever happens, don't let it see your face again. She closed the curtain. She could hear it for the next 2 hours, circling the house, on 2 legs. Part 4. Skinwalker Ranch and Beyond. You may have heard of Skinwalker Ranch in Utah, 560 acres in the Uinta Basin. The Sherman family purchased it in 1994 and lasted less than 2 years. In that time, they reported cattle mutilations with surgical precision no predator could replicate, objects moving independently inside a locked house, figures, tall, upright, not quite human, seen crossing the property at night, and one specific incident that Terry Sherman described in detail: a wolf, larger than any wolf in North America, approaching their cattle. Terry shot it at close range, multiple times. The wolf looked at him and walked calmly into the tree line. No blood, no distress, no reaction. Just that same quality every witness describes. That awareness. That terrible, patient awareness. The ranch was purchased by billionaire Robert Bigelow in 1996 for scientific investigation. The U.S. government's own Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program later confirmed they studied the ranch. Officially, with federal funding. Think about what it means that the United States government spent taxpayer money investigating a property named after a skinwalker. Think about what they must have seen to justify that. I want to leave you with something a Navajo elder said. He agreed to be interviewed on the condition that certain things not be recorded. The interviewer honored that. But what he did allow to be published was this. He said the most dangerous misconception people have about the skinwalker is that it hunts randomly, that it picks victims by chance. He said, it doesn't find you by accident. It finds you because you looked for it. Every story you read, every video you watch, every time you say its name, you are sending out a signal like a light in a dark field, and it sees the light, and it is patient. It has always been patient. It will wait until you are alone, until it is dark, until the moment you hear something outside, and your first instinct is to look. He paused, and then he said, don't look. Close this app. Lock your door. And if you hear your name tonight, you didn't hear anything. Part 2 drops tomorrow. The ranch, the government files, what they actually found,